Hello, everyone. My name is Dakota, also known as Deal Coding, as you can see right below my thumb. Um, just wanted to come on here, give a little introduction, um, as well as give some exciting news. So, I became an ambassador for the TripleTen Coding Bootcamp, or just TripleTen Bootcamp, whichever one you want to say. Um, and this is my first introduction video. Just gonna go over little personal stories as far as my background and why I chose TripleTen. The boot camp experience so far, I'm almost halfway through, so I've had a good bit of experience in it so far. Um, go over some success and achievements, and end off with a little inspiration. So, like I said in the beginning, um, all my handles are going to be deal coding. So my link tree will be down below. You can access my GitHub, take a look at the coding, um, as well as Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, whichever of your choice. Now, there's nothing on the social media yet, as I'm just starting this journey as an ambassador and getting content out there. There's not much there yet, but there will be some coming soon. So let's get into this. This is the first part of this. We'll go over my reasoning for transitioning, what my background is, and why I chose the software engineering path and why I chose TripleTen. So my background is in IT already. I've been doing IT support, a support engineer, and a senior support engineer for the last 5 years. And it's always been in the back of my mind to kind of try out that coding world. Um, so I've gotten to a point where I want to travel. I want to do a lot more. Um, and this could help me get there. Just having a different aspect to work with. Um, so, I started researching. I did quite a bit of research. I looked at colleges. I looked through multiple YouTube videos on coding boot camps or boot camps in general, um, trying to figure out what is the best way to learn. I started doing a little bit of coding projects here on the side, um, but all in all, the one that came up the most when I was researching was TripleTen. Um, Now, I went to their website, I researched them, looked up on YouTube, and on their website, they have a short quiz. You can take it, and it goes through a couple questions, and it'll tell you whether, like, what field you should go into based on your answers to the questions. And mine gave me the software engineering role, and that was what I was planning on doing. So that was a big sign there. But they also have alumni LinkedIn accounts. Um, so what I did is I went through and I messaged about 10 to 20 alumni. Uh, Everything that I got back was all positive, uh, nothing negative. And I was like, okay, this was seems kind of promising. So then I started asking questions about the boot camp, like how is how is it set up? How is the teachers, or is it you know how is it set up? And you know they got back with me and said it's all on Discord, and I was like, oh, okay, Discord could be difficult, but I took the chance and I said, this boot camp, it gives me 10 months to get my experience. And I looked at multiple other boot camps and they were 7 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. And I'm like, I don't know how much you can retain in that time when you were just starting out. So that's one of the big keys that drew me into this. Yeah, it's a little bit longer, um, but that gives you time to actually understand. Um, so, like I said in the beginning, I am almost halfway through my boot camp. So it's split up into sprints, and there's 15 sprints. The 15th one is your final project. I'm on sprint 6. I just started sprint 6, finished sprint 5. Um, so my experience through this whole boot camp and also working a 9 to 5 IT support role, it has been nothing but exquisite, amazing. Um, the fact that it is on Discord can, kind of turn people away. But with it being on Discord, there's multiple channels. They have their own AI built in where if you need to ask a question, you go to whatever sprint you're on. They have a channel for it. Um, if you just want to talk to the community, ask a question in there. They have a channel for it. So if you want to ask a question, go to the sprint that you're on, ask the question. It'll pop up with a response right away from their AI. And most of the time, you can send them screenshots and show them your code, and it'll tell you what it looks like you need to add or what you need to change or just you know insight into what needs to happen. Um, so the part of this course that I find most effective, um, not only the support team, um, the the tutors, the success managers, and just the projects in general, is the training platform. Now, this training platform, not like any of them that I've been with before. This one, you read a little bit. There may be a couple videos. They're literally maybe 5 minutes max. Super short. Your attention span, my attention span, is not there all the time. So if I'm watching multiple videos, I, you know, I may just lose focus or anything like that. So them being short, sweet, and then just doing a little bit of reading. The main part is once you get done with those, a lot of them have tasks at the end to say, hey, you just read through this, you watched this video, here is a task to do. And, you know, they'll give you a question or give you and say, hey, this is what you want to do. So having that and being able to actually understand what's going on, there is a hint section there that you can get a hint from an AI, and it looks at your code. Even if you type something in, it'll say, "Hey, you may not need this," or "Hey, insert this or redefine this." After a certain amount of submissions, you can just run it and not submit it yet. But once you hit submit, after a certain amount of times, it'll give you the solution, and then you can, you know, compare the solution to what you've written, um, and then once you get it correct, then you can move on to the next test. So they make it to where you aren't going to fail. Um, they have tutoring sessions pretty much every 2 hours. There's always a tutor online, um, whether or not they're in a live session or they're just in the chat. So you can always join them, ask questions, but that's the main thing that I find most effective is just the training platform and how it is. Um, so as I'm going through this, the HTML and CSS, that first part of the course was pretty much a breeze. There was a lot of, skills and knowledgeable stuff in there that I thought I knew, and I did not know it at all. I completely overlooked it. I thought I knew it, and it went right through it and kind of taught me what I needed to know. Um, but starting in Sprint 5 and going into Sprint 6 is starting the JavaScript era. My JavaScript is horrendous. I had no clue how to write it. I had no clue what half of the stuff meant. And after going through sprint number 5 and getting to that final project, which you're building off a project that you build in sprint 3. So building off of that and adding the HTML or the JavaScript, getting to the point where I'm submitting my code and I had to submit it 2 or 3 times and it gets approved was one of my key achievements, was that right there. Just being able to make it short, sweet, and not have to go back and forth changing multiple things. When I got my feedback, it was a couple things like, hey, you don't need this necessarily. You can just do this piece here, and that's good. Or, hey, you need to add in this, or, you can take this out. So they set it up for you basically to not fail. You can't move on to the next sprint until you get your project from the previous sprint approved. And while you're in that approval section and submitting your code, the engineers that are reviewing it actually comment on your code and give you that information. What you could change, what you may need to add, what you may need to remove, um, what you may need to look at. Uh, so it's definitely a great course. So um, we're gonna end it off this questionnaire with a little inspiration. Um, if you are looking at going into the tech related fields, research and figure out what you are wanting to do. Their technology is always changing. Um, so whether you want to do a support engineer or software engineer or data science, whatever you're looking at doing in the tech field, is research it. That's the main thing. Know what you want to do. And if you're thinking, hey, I want to do data science or data analytics or BI analytics or software engineer or QA engineer, whatever it might be, go to the TripleTen website. It'll be linked down below. Take the short quiz, see what it gives you, and then read up about it. That's what I did. And I love my choice that I went with. Um, I talked to my family constantly, and they have no clue what I'm going through, no clue about coding, but I show them anyways, and they're proud to say you're doing great. I have no idea what you're doing, but you're doing great. So, but yeah, it's definitely changed, and it's been quite the experience to go through this. So, um, like I said, if you are looking at going into a different field, or within the tech world, check out TripleTen. Uh, you can research them. You can go to their website. You can talk to alumni. That's what I did. I just got on LinkedIn and I sent a mass message. I just copied and pasted it to a bunch of alumni and said, "Hey, I'm looking at enrolling in this course. I see that you're alumni. Can you tell me more about it? And then I had probably about 10 questions lined up after that, after I got their response, that initial response. And then I asked them those questions. Nothing but positive. And after getting into the course, I understand why. So I'm going to leave it there. Um, if you do look at going to enroll and the TripleTen, uh, DM me. I'll get you a referral code and get you a percentage off of your tuition there. But also, like I said in the beginning, my link tree is going to be down below. You can message me on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. My GitHub's on there as well. Or you can just comment questions down below in the comments. So, we are going to do a Q&A later on. Like I said, this is the first introduction, the first publication on the channel of me talking about this and becoming an ambassador for this lovely program. So there will be more content coming. So stay tuned. Join me on this coding journey. And like I said, if you want to know more or you're looking at enrolling, shoot me a message and we can talk about the course and how to go about the sign up. So we'll see you next time.